Who are you gonna call? Slick Daddy! Hooray! Facebook Friday Q&A! Hip hip hooray! Are you ready? Yay, boo. Doesn't fucking matter because you clicked on the video, so I'd assume you would be. Whether it's to watch and have fun or blast away. Whatever is your poison, pick it. And let's get going. David Asseline asks, who has been a worse president? George W. Bush or Barack Hussein Obama? Oh, it's still Bush by miles. Oh, yeah. I find it very funny that a lot of Republicans hate Obama because in a lot of ways, Obama's been a great Republican president. He instituted a Republican healthcare principle in Obamacare. So many of the now Republicans hate so passionately when this was the counter-proposal to Bill Clinton's universal healthcare of the 90s, based off of the model that was Romney Care in Massachusetts in the early 2000s. The military and defense spending has increased, not decreased. We are finding new ways to get entangled in foreign engagements, and just go on and on and on. I mean, Obama really hasn't raised that much in the way of taxes, contrary to popular belief. So I don't understand why a lot of Republicans hate Obama, because in a lot of ways he's kind of what you would expect out of a moderate Republican president. I could understand why Democrats would be angry with him, because this was a guy that seemed to want to tackle everything and by and large has tackled nothing successfully. And also, if you really think about it, the few things that he has done, he hasn't done nearly enough. So there you go. I mean, it's, and even when you look at Bush, this is a guy who had a Republican majority in both houses of Congress for his first 6 years of his presidency, where Obama has only had majorities in both houses for the first 2 years of his presidency. A big difference, a big distinction, especially when those Republican senators and congressmen had made it a mission to help make him a one-term president. I mean, that's just incredibly counterproductive. As soon as I would hear somebody say something like that, I would think that I would believe their priorities would be screwed up, that they're not representing the people, and as a result, regardless of how you feel, need to be voted out. Oh, let's sit there and punish these bums by voting in more bums just fucking like them. Makes no fucking sense. But Bush was far worse, because the ramifications of Bush presidency will be felt for decades and generations. That's how bad he was. Nick Perkins, what is your opinion on the choices for both of the teams in the traditional Survivor Series match this Sunday? I think I talked about this before, in the video Survivor Series 2014 should be free. I've talked about it plenty there. Duke Morris, could Scotty 2 Hotty, Lance Cade, or Tommy Dreamer have been good IC champions? Out of the three, maybe Lance Cade, but damn, he was so bland. There was just no sizzle, no real appeal to him. Daniel Coleman, who deserves a retirement match at the end of their career the most in the current WWE roster? Undertaker. Let's see here. George Jones, would you let Randy Orton rub baby oil into your naked ass while Triple H gives you a striptease for a chance to fuck any diva you want? No. If I wanted to fuck him, I'd just do it. They want it. So, no, I wouldn't need to do that. Maybe you would need to do that. The Slay Daddy don't need to do that. I assure you. All right, let's see here. Robert Amaronia Wyatt, if Jeff Jarrett and Dino Bravo were drowning and you could only save one, what kind of sandwich would you make? Probably a bologna and cheese. There you go. Charles Angel, or Angel, I'm not sure which one. It's whatever. I said Angel, so there you go, Chuck Angel. Do you think the WWE does it right for the Divas division because they don't want to, or because their female wrestlers are not skilled enough to act out a feud properly? Yes. Yes to all of that. Only the WWE would sit there and go after models and actresses that aren't all that particularly attractive and not all that particularly talented. And then at the same point in time, they don't have the belief, the conviction that these women can be the assets they can be to be able to do anything to try and fix that situation and improve upon it and make it better. So it's kind of one feeds the other and begets the other and begets the other. Sean Anderson, which undercard WWE wrestler do you still think has a chance of making it big? It depends on where you would define the undercard, because frankly, you could almost say there is really no mid-card in the WWE, so pretty much if you're not in the main event scene, you are on the undercard. Kind of true. Undercard WWE wrestlers do you think has a chance of making it big? If they wanted to get behind him, Kofi. James Forkham, if Roman Reigns doesn't win the Rumble, who else could you see winning it? If they went in a completely different direction, Ambrose. That'd be the one guy I would see. What was a bigger disappointment, the Shockmaster or the Gobbledygooker? This comes from Jeff Kiley. I'll go with the Gobbledygooker because they devoted a lot of time to building this up, and they made this a part of a Big Four pay-per-view. They made this feel like this was going to be the biggest fucking, most awesome, spectacular thing of all time. So I'll go with the Gobbledygooker. Let's see here. Jeremy Adams, why haven't more top superstars hosted Saturday Night Live since Vince loves mainstream media attention? Well, I'm sure he would love to have more of his talents over the years have been hosting things like Saturday Night Live. But there's got to be mutual interest there, and it's got to make sense for all parties involved. So, that's probably why. David Root, do you see Rusev being a future main eventer? Don't see it. I really don't. Ellis Watson, do you think that the Attitude Era only came about as a move of desperation because of the competition for WCW, and that WWE's current product, which is rather similar to the new generation, is really and truly what Vince wants to put onto television? Could think you would be able to say that, especially when you look back at the new generation era. There's no question that the Attitude Era was about desperation. And he was able to go to places being on the USA Network that WCW wasn't through Turner. So, I was born out of desperation. It was do or die. Only the strongest could survive. He had to do whatever it takes. And he was helped by the fact that he was on a network that allowed him to do more of whatever it took, as opposed to WCW with the Turner family of networks. All right, so let's see here. Christian Guillen. Should WWE go back to having the brand division and have specific brand pay-per-views except for the Big Four? No! No! Hell no! Simple enough. Let's see here. Michael Hayden Appleby. Should Ryback and Mark Henry form a tag team called Sexual Hunger? Yeah. Feed me more. It's sexual, baby. That'd be fucking awesome. Matthew Alicia asked, or Alicia, whatever. It's Alicia for me. With WWE's new health and physical policies for older wrestlers, does this mean we won't see superstar Billy Graham versus Bruno Sammartino in a Get Off My Lawn match with special guest referee the Grim Reaper? Bruno be out there. That's a make a man, I tell you. Get Off My Lawn match. I actually think that'd be awesome if they had one of those in WWE. You could do Hogan versus Flair or Get Off My Flair. Get Off My Yard match. Fucking awesome. Let's see here. Dossie Chatham. Would you rather have Lesnar versus The Rock and John Cena versus Roman Reigns, or Lesnar versus Reigns and Cena versus Hogan headline WrestleMania 31, and why? I'd rather take Brock versus Rock and Cena versus Reigns, because I think that flows a lot better. And in that case, you'd probably have Cena versus Reigns be for the title, and you could still do the feature attraction of Brock versus Rock. I have no interest in seeing Hogan at this point wrestle another match. I have zero interest. Love Hogan to death. It's the reason I became a fan. He's the reason I stayed the fan. He's an all-time favorite. The all-time favorite. I have zero interest in ever seeing him wrestle again. Daniel Isabor. Do you think NXT is doing a good job of reigniting the ever-depleting tag team division in WWE? And P.S., what do you think of the Vaudevillains? The one or two times I've seen the Vaudevillains, I thought they were okay. I don't know about NXT because I'm not fucking watching NXT. Just like I'm not fucking watching Impact. I'm not watching SmackDown. I'm not watching ROH. I'm not watching Lucha Underground. I'm not watching any other shit. The only wrestling at this point that I am watching is Raw. And sometimes I regret doing that. Hence why you haven't seen me do a review about it in a few weeks. Just haven't fucking felt like it. John Gorman with WWE coming out with a Macho Man Randy Savage DVD. Do you think that this might mean that they will finally induct him into the Hall of Fame? I think there's a good possibility that it's going to happen next year. I really do at this point. I think there's a lot of things pointing towards it, a lot of momentum pointing towards him and Sting headlining next year's class. I think there's a lot of chance of that happening, if you will. All right, let's see here. Tom Volpe. Why did HBK and Triple H only have stipulation matches on pay-per-view instead of normal matches? Well, when you're God and Jesus, you kind of make the rules. You make the wrestling sports entertainment Bible, so you probably book your own shit so you can do whatever the fuck you want. Let's see here. Mario Rios. What would happen to Psycho Sid's leg if he was put in the ankle lock? The second greatest heel turn of all time? Daniel Carlton, Mr. T and Macho Man, who rap better? Be a man, Hulk! Come on, don't be scared. You're running from Macho, that's what I heard. Gotta be Macho Man. Taryn Rooks, why did you move from Iowa to where you are now? Well, I'll put it this way. This is the best way I can put it. Is that, number one, I moved to Iowa back in 2007 for a job I haven't had since the end of 2008. So I was in a place that wasn't home, and it was a point in time where it was time to have a change of scenery. And usually there are two things that make a guy move across time zones. That's money and pussy. And in my case, it wasn't money. That's simple. Brandon Harden, which is the better pay-per-view, SummerSlam 92 or SummerSlam 97? Those are both really good shows. Just from a classic feel standpoint, I guess you got to go with SummerSlam 92. It drew the bigger house. It just has a little bit of a better feel to it. But SummerSlam 97 was a really good show. Preston Emmons, do you think The Undertaker will make an appearance at Survivor Series 2015? Why Survivor Series? Let's see if he makes an appearance at WrestleMania 31, frankly. Yeah, you just... I don't know why would he make his appearance at Survivor Series next year, of all things? I'm curious why he asked that question. Anthony Miller, would you laugh to the point where you couldn't stop if Jeff Jarrett tore both of his quads like Vince McMahon did? With Jeff Jarrett, I'd probably laugh more if he tried to hit somebody over the head with that never drew a damn dime guitar, and he broke both of his arms, or his arms came out of his sockets and they were just dangling. He's like, he's flopping around like, my arms, what the fuck, my arms. That would be fucking entertainment. And then Duke Morris wants to know, will you do an Elimination Chamber match review series just reviewing each individual Elimination Chamber match? Good luck with that. Let me know how that goes when you do it, because I most certainly am not, brother. I apologize if you want me to do that. I have finished the Big Four review series. I don't anticipate doing any review series anytime in the near future. Just putting that out there right now. The good thing is, though, is what that will do is that will allow me to do more things in terms of commentary videos and stuff, the stuff that kind of gets put on the back burner, unfortunately, when I do the review series. So I'm kind of excited about that. Mukahid Kilich. What would happen in the WWE this year if Punk didn't quit? Good question. Except he did quit. Harry Wood. How would you book Bad News Barrett in 2015? Don't know that I'd book him that hard, because every time I'd get behind him, he fucking gets hurt. So, you know. Luke Harris, what would your reaction be if John Cena dropped his shorts live on Raw and instead of a penis, it was Psycho Sid's broken leg? How dare you insult Psycho Sid's broken leg? All right, that's it. That's enough. Thanks, you guys, for your questions. Be back Monday for another Q&A, and I'll have some other stuff up this weekend. And, oh, yeah, a Survivor Series 2014 review.